career as he draws back that big Irish fist of his and pounds Bulldog Plesches down to the canvas. McShain, a real junior heavyweight and a man who has established himself as world champion over the years in several respects, now finds that he has been separated by a man who had a reputation for being tough. That was Don Evans, who is the referee in this particular battle that took place in Dallas, and most certainly delighted Dallas fans back in the 1950s. McShain at this time was world's junior heavyweight champion, but campaigned not only in the junior heavyweight division, but in among the heavyweights who, like Bulldog Plesches, who came from Omaha, Nebraska, and was started in wrestling by the famous Dusick brothers. Bulldog is the kind of a guy who learned the Dusick tricks well and has convinced McShain right now that he learned it well. But Don Evans, who now in the 1980s lives on a farm in upper New York State and probably has memories of the days that he wrestled here in Texas, because anybody who has faced tough competition in the state of Texas always has a special niche of memory that they never let diminish. So the Bulldog Plesches on the receiving end now as McShain winds up and pitches and Bulldog catches. That was inevitable. That's one of the reasons why his face got to look the way it does, and that is that fellows like McShain found great pleasure in being able to pound it whenever it was possible. Now, McShain is a man who has left his indelible mark on wrestling, and you're looking on the outside of the ring. You see a strange apparition. That happens to be Iron Mike DiBiase, who managed the Bulldog, who did all of the Bulldog's talking, who had the Bulldog as a tag team partner. And in this particular match, the manager or the handler or whatever you want to call Iron Mike as in his relationship with Bulldog, because they were tag team partners also. One of the stipulations was that Iron Mike was to wear a straitjacket if indeed he was to be at ringside at all. So you can see that they had a pretty good idea of what Iron Mike was capable of doing. Iron Mike is a man who ended his wrestling career in Texas. He died in the ring in Amarillo when he wrestled a huge individual known as Man Mountain Mike, and who literally fell on Iron Mike and brought about his death in the ring. So the Bulldog being urged on by Iron Mike DiBiase, and I might also point out that Iron Mike's son, Ted DiBiase, is wrestling now in the 1980s and doing extremely well, too. So McShain, unaccustomed to having fans rooting for him, gets inspired by the noise of the crowd and inspired by the opportunity to know that he's just a handsome young fellow after all. McShain, as many of you know, is still involved in wrestling in Texas. He referees wrestling matches regularly in Houston. And there are fans who sometimes come up and say, did Danny McShain ever wrestle? Well, here's the answer. Danny McShain was once the king of the hill in the lightweight division, rather the light heavyweight division. He came up from the middleweight division into the light heavyweight division and then the junior heavyweight division, and held the world's title in each of them. And he, in some people's minds, he is the perennial tough guy because of his ability to give and to take. He is also the man who invented the idea of coming into the ring dressed like a peacock, and has long been copied because of his strutting antics in the ring. But few have been able to copy his tremendous ability to pound an opponent into senselessness. So a little nostalgia on the best of Texas wrestling, and one of the best and some of the best of the men in the game in the 1950s.